January 27, T3. So to simplify these fractions, they need to have a common denominator. So I'm going to make them both sixths, and we have 5t over 6. If we multiply 2 by 3, then we have to multiply the numerator by 3, so that's 3t. 5t take away 3t is 2t, and 2 over 6 simplifies to give 1 over 3. So our answer is t over 3. Got to be careful in this question, quality of written communication again. And we're interested in the angle DEC. First thing we're told is ABE is an equilateral triangle. So I can write that this angle, which is AEB, is 60 degrees. And that's because it's an equilateral. We then have the rest of the angles in that triangle at 60, and if we have a square, then we have our angles of 30, the other triangle. Then consider that this is a square. That means that this side is equal in length to this side and this side. But what we also know about an equilateral triangle is that these sides are equal as well. So we have that AB equals AE equals AD equals BC. Therefore, that tells us we can see here that's an isosceles triangle. So ADE is isosceles. I marked it on the diagram, but I didn't write it out. DAE equals 30 degrees, and that came from 90 minus 60, and that's because we have a square. That means that the angle here, which is DEA, will be 180 minus 30 divided by 2, and that's because it's isosceles. So that is 75 degrees. We can say the same for BEC. Will also be 75 degrees, which leaves us with DEC will be 360 minus 75 minus 75 minus 60, which is 150 degrees. Here we have a Pythagoras question, and this is our hypotenuse, and the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So if we do 8.25 squared take away 4.95 squared, we'll get x squared, and that gives us that x squared is 43.56, and if I take the square root of that, I get that the height of the cone is 6.6. If we add in a new lower wage, then the mean will decrease. The modal will stay the same because no one else has 110. The median will change, and if we write this in, the median was in the middle, or is in the middle. So over 1, 2, 3, 4, our median was 242 with the 110, and prior to that it was halfway between 242 and 250, so the median will decrease and the range will increase, and that is because we have a larger difference. We were going from 202 to 284, we're now going from 110 to 284. So to find the median, we have 50 people. We want to go to the halfway mark, which is 25. So we're going to draw across. Please do this with a ruler in your exam. And then we mark down. and I would say that it's halfway between 82 and 86, so that would be 84 for the median. To complete the table, we need to get some readings then. So at 82, we're reading across and we get 16. At 86, we are reading across and we get 42. 90, which is at the end, we've got 50. So from my graph, we had 16, 42, and 50. If we then use that to find the frequencies, so 78 to 82 are the difference between less than 82 and 78, so that's 16, take away 6, which is 10. 82 to 86 will be 42, take away 16, which is 26. And finally, the last section, 50, take away 42, which will be 8. To find the mean from that table, we then want the midpoints, so 68, 72, 76, 80, 84 and 88. We're going to multiply the midpoints by the frequency, so 68 times 0 is 0, 72 times 2 is 144, 76 times 4 is 304, 80 times 10 is 800, 84 times 26, 2184, and 88 times 8 is 704. So if we add all those together, we get 4136. So the mean is 4136 divided by the total frequency, which is 50. That gives us 82.72. Complete the missing power. When we divide, we subtract, so 6 take away 2 is 4. Show without the use of a calculator. So 8 to the power 4 is 8 times 8 times 8 times 8, and 16 squared is 16 times 16. 8 goes into 16 two times. 8 goes into 16 two times. And that leaves us with 8 times 8 over 2 times 2. 2 goes into 8 four times. 2 goes into 8 four times, which leaves us with 4 times 4, which is 16. I'm going to start by expanding the brackets, and I'm going to use the grid method. Four x times 2x is 8x squared. 3 times 2x is 6x minus 4x, and minus 1 times 3 is minus 3. So that gives us 3 times 8x squared. 6x take away 4x, which is 2x, and minus 3. 3 8s are 24, 3 2s are 6, and 3 3s are 9. This is the difference of two squares, so a minus b times a plus b is a squared minus b squared. So whenever we factorise that, we're going to have t minus 7 upon t plus 7. It's an equilateral triangle, which means that all the sides must be the same length, and the perimeter is got by adding the 3 sides together, and that has to equal 3 times one of the sides. So I'm going to use x plus 9. X plus 3x is 4x, plus 2x is 6x. 9 take away 3 is 6, and 6 plus 3 is 9. So 6x plus 9 has to equal 3 times x plus 9. So 6x plus 9 has to equal 3x plus 27. So 3x is 18 and x would be 6, which means that the perimeter of the triangle is 6x plus 9. 6 sixes are 36 plus 9 is 45. To solve this equation, I'm going to start by giving them all a common denominator, which I'm going to make twelfths. Multiply the first denominator by 3, so we have to multiply the numerator by 3, and 3 3s are 9, so we have 9 times x minus 2 all over 12. Change 3 into twelfths would be 36 over 12, and x plus 4 over 3, we have to multiply the denominator by 4, so we multiply the numerator by 4. Once the denominators are the same, then the numerators must then be equal. If I expand the brackets, I have 9x minus 18, take away 36 equals 4x plus 16. 9x take away 4x is 5x. 16 plus 36 is 52, plus 18 is 70, so x would be 14. To calculate the perimeter of this circle, we have 4 semicircles. So if we start with the 2, ensure the radius is 1, the perimeter is half a circle, so that's half times 2 pi r, so that's 2 times pi times 1, so that is just pi, and there are 3 of those, so altogether that will be 3 pi. The outer circle, the distance the whole way across is 6, which means its radius will be 3, so the curve will be a half times 2 times pi times r, which is 3 pi. So in total we have 3 pi plus 3 pi, which is 6 pi, which gives us 18.9. Jill starts at the bottom, turns through 115 degrees. We want to know how high she is above the ground. So we have 115 degrees and the radius is 26. What we want to think about is then this is 90 to get to a quarter turn, which means that she is 25 degrees above. So we have 25, we have a radius of 26, and I want to work out this distance x. So if I start by labeling my sides, I have the opposite, I have the hypotenuse, and if I draw out my SOHCAHTOA, I can see I want to use sine, and we are trying to work out the opposite, so the opposite is the sine times the hypotenuse, so in this case x will be the sine of 25 times 26, which is 10.988. So she is above the ground, the 26 plus 10.988, which gives us 36.988, and if I round that, that's 37 metres above the ground. So in a box plot, the interquartile range is the width of the box. So in which city is the interquartile range bigger? And it's A, because the box is wider. We could also have worked them out. In A, we are going from 18 to 72. So 72 take away 18 will be 54. And in B, we are going from 70 to 32. Which which is 38. So A, the interquartile range is 54, and in B, the interquartile range is 38. In which city are people generally older? And that would be B, because the median is higher. And B's median appears to be 51 as I'm reading it up. And I would have that A's median is 45. 75% of the people in City A, so that is the top quarter, are aged over 72.